Most people that are struggling with looking skinny fat are stuck because they're focusing on all of the wrong things. Slashing calories, doing a ton of cardio, and seeing months go by without any change. And when you consider you're working damn hard, that's damn frustrating. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to focus on to change your physique in the way that you desire, with easy and proven methods that will have you feeling like a saucy little sauce pot. But first, what actually defines skinny fat? Skinny fat is a term given to those that are sitting within a healthy BMI, but have a bit more body fat than they would like, and probably a lot less muscle mass. Now, the first elephant in the room here is addressing the fact that, yeah, BMI can be a bit of codswallop. And I think this is a perfect example as to why. Because scale weight alone, or your BMI number alone, has as much depth as a fart in the wind. It tells you diddly fucking fuck about what your body is actually made out of. Like, technically, you could be made out of soup and still be a healthy BMI. I don't know why you'll be made out of soup. And often there's this idea of like, doesn't matter how you get there or what your body looks like or feels like, as long as your scale weight is low, you're a valuable member of society. If you're not new to this channel, you'll know that's horseshit. And if that's news to you that that is horseshit, then maybe subscribe and hang around, because we're rewriting the script on that and having you actually feel pretty decent in your body. Because the reality is your smallest body might not be your healthiest or strongest one. And if you are skinny fat, we probably want to pay less attention to the scale and more attention to how your body looks and feels, which could be a heavier body weight. Putting this into context, when I first started lifting, I was 57 kilos. I would consider tin spaghetti as a complete meal, and my lack of muscle mass had me fearing strong winds. Now, 10 years on, I probably have a similar level of body fat percentage. However, I'm 10 kilograms heavier, which is 22 pounds if you work in Monopoly money. Yet I have more energy than ever, I feel more confident than ever, and I can open as many pickle jars as I want as a strong, independent woman. And yeah, the rest of this video is going to give you the exact play-by-play how you can do the same, kick that skinny fat stuff in the bollocks, and feel your absolute best. So ultimately, the goal that you're looking for here is building more muscle and potentially reducing your body fat levels. But this is where people go about it completely the wrong way. They go into the gym and try to burn a ton of calories with endless cardio, all the while cutting their calories that they're consuming. Stuck in the mindset of, oh, I'll start weight training once I've lost the body fat because I want to lose fat and then build muscle. And it's holding them back. And if it's you, it's holding you back. Because endless dieting and calorie burning isn't going to build the body you want. Instead, you want to prioritize your training to be building muscle, and a lot of it, and then strategically losing body fat rather than aimlessly. And here's exactly how you're going to do that. Starting off with the building muscle side of the equation. You're going to take your way off the comfort of the cardio machines and you're going to start lifting some weights and some heavy ones. Because from today, you're going to be prioritizing 3 to 5 weight sessions per week. And to make sure you're doing this as efficiently as possible, you're not going to go into the gym and wing it to fuck. You're going to follow a wonderful little program. If you don't know where to start or find one of these, you can pick one up for free if you follow the link in my bio. Because that link will give you 7 free days in my app. There's some programs in there ready and waiting for you. And I wouldn't know if you go and steal a program and never continue the app after the trial, our little secret. But when you have that program, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be sticking to the same movements week on week for at least 6 weeks, if not longer. I know that sounds boring, but it's how you're going to do the fundamentals, which is start lifting with incredible technique and then looking to push yourself a little bit more week on week, where you're going to start seeing that you're lifting more weight or more reps over time. And that's a beautiful thing called progressive overload, and it's a fundamental part of you building muscle. And to ensure that you're doing that with the program that you're following, you're going to be tracking every single one of your lifts. I'm talking about from your squats to your bicep curls to your calf raises, because if you're not cracking, you are bloody guessing, and that's exactly where people start spinning their wheels. Now, with selecting your program and progressing it the best way possible, this is going to be a shit ton easier if you are realistic with your expectations. Because again, I see it so often, people go into the gym thinking this is going to be it, this is going to be me, this is the new me. I'm going to download a 5-day-a-week training program even though I've never trained once consistently in my life. Don't be a moron. If you're just starting out, choose something that's going to be realistic for you. Most people, that's 3 to 4 sessions a week, because even if your favorite influencer is doing 5 sessions a week and that looks more optimal on paper, if you can't stick to it, it's bloody pointless. And although it might sound like it's a little bit less, if you're consistent with it, that's going to result in a lot more. Now, if you aren't using one of my programs because you're a dirty little scoundrel, if you do 3 days a week, I would suggest doing 3 full body days. And if you're doing 4 days a week, I'd suggest doing upper, lower, upper, lower. This should have you training each muscle group around 10 to 20 sets per week, tickling each muscle a couple times a week as well. Rachel, what about the cardio? There must be the cardio. I'll go into that for a few minutes, because I'm guessing you asking me that because you want to drop body fat. And there's some things that are way more important than cardio if you're looking to drop body fat. See, fat loss is actually really freaking simple. Not easy. No. but simple. You simply just need to consume less calories than your body burns on a day-to-day basis on average. And the thing that has the biggest impact on this little equation, the calories that you consume. I know, very boring, but addressing the calories coming in is going to have a huge impact on what happens with your body composition moving forwards. Now, in a second, I'm going to show you exactly how to strategically set up your calories. And if you want to know how many calories you need to consume to suit the goals that you have, then use my free calorie calculator. I'll pop it here. It's in the description. It will give you a fantastic start point. Because with being skinny fat, as mentioned, you might need to strategically drop body fat throughout your journey. And with this, there's two paths you can go down that are damn effective. So option number one can be diet first, build second. You can start the process by going into a 6 to 10 week diet phase where your aim is to strip back the body fat. With this, you'll be looking to put yourself in a calorie deficit. So with the calculator, set up your fat loss calories and aim to stick to that as consistently as you can over the next couple of months. At the end of that diet phase, you then want to make sure you are bringing your calories up to maintenance. Throughout both the diet phase and the maintenance phase, continue to push like fuck in your training. The pros of this approach is often fat loss is a faster process than muscle gain, in that you can probably see a pound of body fat reductions within a week, but a pound of muscle mass increase, depending on where you are in your training journey, it will likely take months. And so seeing that first little sprint of fat loss when maybe you're feeling quite motivated can give you a bit of buy-in in this process of like, maybe I can do this, and sets you up for the long haul. But the cons of this approach is that so often with people that I work with, they come into this part having tried diets and diets and diets before. You're fucking tired, both mentally and physically, and therefore it actually feels really bloody difficult to consistently stick to a deficit for the 6 to 10 week period. Because yeah, as I say, as simple as fat loss is, it is freaking hard. When you're hungry, your energy's lower, not many people actually want to hang out there. So although you might see that initial buy-in, it doesn't come without a cost, which is why option 2 is a fabulous option for many. Because with option 2, we can look to build first and then diet second if needed. With this approach, you can focus on eating at calorie maintenance or even a 100 to 200 calorie surplus if you're feeling like you want to ramp up muscle gain and you don't really mind risking a little bit of body fat coming along for the ride over the coming months. Because if you're eating at least at maintenance or slightly above, your muscles are going to be hungry for the gains and you're going to be able to push strength training harder and build a decent chunk of muscle. And then do this for at least 6 months before checking in. Because around the 6th month of training consistently hard and eating to fuel, you'll likely be at a point where you've started to see a bit of difference in your muscle mass. And this is going to give you 2 really cool benefits. One is that if you decide to go into a calorie deficit now, when you drop the calories and finish that deficit, you'll have more muscle underneath and probably be happier with the end result. But the second thing of where you've built more muscle mass is that more muscle mass tends to mean you burn more calories on a day-to-day basis, which tends to lead to a more comfortable dieting phase. This is actually something that happened to me recently. The last diet phase I entered, previously I had to diet on around 13 to 1400 calories in order to see fat loss when I was trying to diet around 60 kilos. Earlier this year, I dieted down from the mid 70 kilos, the mid 60 kilos, and I never went lower than 1700 calories to be in my deficit. Hell of a lot more comfortable, a hell of a lot more fun, which yeah, I would take any day of the week. But the cons of this approach is what I've already mentioned. Physique changes probably won't be felt or seen for months rather than weeks, and so you're gonna have to be ready to tuck in for the long haul. When I'm working with my clients as to what approach we want to go down, I'm always looking at their dieting history and personal preference. Some people like to diet first and build second, and some people prefer to build first and diet second. But ultimately, so long as you're not fucking hating the process and you're seeing that you're moving forwards to where you want to go, that's a sign that you're doing some good shit. Now, with whatever approach you take, you want to make sure that you're not just focusing on the calories. Calories are king for sure, but your diet quality makes a huge difference as well. Where you're looking to build muscle, it's absolutely crucial that you're hitting a decent amount of protein. Protein is literally the building blocks of your muscle. And after your training sessions, your muscles are a little bit horny to have something to help them grow. Protein is that thing. So start aiming for 1.6 grams to 2 grams of protein for every kilogram you weigh. For example, if you're a 60 kilogram variation of human, you'll be looking to consume between 96 grams and 120 grams of protein every single day, or as many days as you can, which for a lot of you might feel a lot if you've never paid attention to your protein before. So quick fire tips and ways to increase your protein: try to base each meal around an identifiable. Try to base each meal around an identifiable bit of protein. For breakfast, that could be a heap of Greek yogurt or some eggs. Lunch, that could be chicken or tuna. Dinner, that could be tofu, fish, chicken again. Then if you still need to get a bit more protein in there, popping in a high protein snack. Protein shake, protein bar. Don't tell Joe Wicks. Don't come for me. or some more Greek yogurt. Then alongside this, to make your diet more satiating and more energizing, try to prioritize whole foods as the base of your nutrition as well. My favorite way to do this is just to ram in as many plants as possible, trying to get a couple variations of plant in at each meal and aiming to slap in some whole grains and those healthy fats. Nuts, avocado, oily fish. That kind of bollocks. Now, it doesn't mean you need to be a health monk and never sniff a chocolate bar again. 10 to 20% of your daily calories going to the fun food so you can have some oral joy keeps the brain and the mouth happy. So don't be afraid to have a little bit of that in there. Just focus first in adding in the protein, adding in the plants, and having a jolly good time. Now, I did promise I was going to talk a bit about cardio because I know a bunch of you think it is necessary for fat loss. Through the fat loss phases of your journey, you can create a calorie deficit by monitoring your calories in, increasing your general activity, aka increasing your steps to 8 to 10,000 as an average per day, and then hitting your weight training consistently. That holy trinity can get you really fucking far. Now, for sure, cardio is still bloody fantastic, and it's not saying not to do cardio at all. Just don't view it as the fat loss vehicle. Cardio is fantastic for your health. It's fantastic to stop your lungs from prolapsing whenever you're going up the stairs, and it can supplement a deficit because yeah, it does burn calories. Just bear in mind, to inhale a 200 calorie bag of Maltesers, which is one of the small ones, it will take 30 seconds. Gruelingly drag yourself on the Stairmaster to burn the same amount of calories will take 20 bloody minutes, which is not only inefficient, but bloody miserable. If you're seeing exercise's main use as a calorie burning tool, it very quickly becomes boring and very quickly becomes demotivating and very quickly becomes a bit of an eating disorder as well. So we just don't want to do it. Use cardio as a tool, a brief little bonus, heart and head health, but that's it. As mentioned, my scale weight has gone up around 10 kilograms since I've started lifting with a similar level of body fat. Because yeah, muscle freaking weighs something. It doesn't appear out of thin air. And if you're new to strength training, it's really common for that number that you're seeing on that silly bit of plastic to not behave in the way that you think it should. If you've never strength trained and now you're strength training and put yourself in a calorie deficit, sometimes the muscle gain can mask some of the fat loss that's going on. So you might see the scale weight drop either slower or barely at all, despite your body changing. And on the flip, if you're looking to eat a bit more food and slam in the strength training, so you're just pushing that forward, you're probably going to see the scale wiggle up slowly over time as well, which is why it's vital through this process that you are using other measurements of progress. I would encourage that you take measurements around your chest, waist, hips, arms and legs. If you feel comfortable enough doing so, take some progress pictures. Try to use similar lighting and the same clothing. And most importantly, just check in with how you're bloody feeling. I remember when I first noticed a muscle pop up somewhere. I was tying up my hair and I was like, what the fuck is this? It was a glorious moment. The scale didn't capture that, and it won't capture it with you either. So take a step back, look at the whole view, and be patient with the damn process. Which takes me to my concluding statement of making this shit become an actual reality. Because for sure, this is all absolutely beautiful in theory, but it means piss all if you do nothing with this information, and it means piss all if you half-ass it with your consistency over the coming months. So I'm going to leave you with a harsh little reality check and a nice little tushy tickle to get you going. Because to be completely brutal with you, your motivation is going to be inconsistent over the next few months, and it's your job to be consistent in spite of that. I've mentioned multiple times that this isn't going to be a 6-week and you're done thing. This is months, if not years, of continuously building these habits, and that's going to be the real ticket to your success. And if you're not setting yourself up for the long haul to achieve that, you're fucked. So find a training split that you enjoy and start having fun in the numbers of seeing yourself get stronger. Show up on the days that you don't want to. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, just promise yourself that you're going to show up for the warm-up and maybe the first exercise. 9 times out of 10, you'll do the rest of the workout, and that other one time, you'll still be proud of yourself for showing up. Don't be afraid to be imperfect. The truth about life is everyone is winging it. And in order to be good at something, you need to be bad at something first. So as you're learning your program, learning the movement, start figuring out your nutrition, it probably will have that fuck about and find out era before it starts to feel a bit more natural. Embrace it and keep on bloody going. And then taking that imperfection moving forwards, recognize you're still gonna have some shit days. You're human, not a robot. But a few crud days of your nutrition and a couple of skipped gym sessions won't ruin your progress. Reacting to it by binning off the gym and hitting the fuck it button with your nutrition, that will ruin your progress. So don't fucking quit, keep on going. And if you want to get into some nitty gritty about growing each individual muscle, then I recommend going and having a look at this, because I'll take you through exactly what you need to know about building all the muscle that you want to. But I hope this one helped, and I'll see you in the next one.